In October 2025, the Philippines unveiled a new national map, a bold assertion of its maritime rights in the South China Sea. This moment marked a significant turning point in the country's ongoing struggle to protect its territorial integrity and assert its sovereignty on the world stage. This map, meticulously crafted by the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, or NOMRIA, is more than just a cartographic update. It's a direct challenge to China's sweeping claims over vast stretches of the South China Sea. The process involved months of research, technical expertise, and careful consideration of international law. The map clearly labels the waters within the Philippines' 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone as the West Philippine Sea, cementing a narrative that firmly rejects China's controversial 10-dash line. This visual representation is a powerful statement, reinforcing the Philippines' legal and historical claims. President Marcos Jr. has announced plans to submit this map to the United Nations, seeking not only global recognition, but also legal backing from the international community. This diplomatic move aims to rally support from other nations and highlight the Philippines' commitment to peaceful resolution. The move shifts the dispute from military might to legal principle, leveraging international law as the Philippines' main weapon. By focusing on legal avenues, the Philippines hopes to set a precedent for other nations facing similar challenges. For Filipinos, the map is a symbol of national pride and resistance, showing the government's commitment to defending its resources and sovereignty. It has sparked a wave of public support, with citizens rallying behind the government's efforts to protect their future. Fishermen who have long faced harassment and uncertainty in contested waters see renewed hope as their government takes a public stand against Chinese encroachment. The map gives them a sense of security and a renewed belief in their right to fish in their own waters. The map unifies government agencies and educates citizens and the world about the Philippines' legal claims. It is now being used in schools, public forums, and diplomatic meetings to spread awareness and foster a sense of unity. It's a calculated act of defiance, rooted in a belief in a rules-based international order. The Philippines is sending a clear message that it will stand firm, using diplomacy and law to defend its rights. The new map is a powerful tool for building consensus and demonstrating the Philippines' resolve to defend what it legally owns. As the world watches, the Philippines stands united, determined to protect its seas for generations to come. The Philippines' new map is anchored in international law, specifically the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. This landmark treaty, signed by over 160 countries, sets out the legal framework for maritime rights and responsibilities, defining how nations use the world's oceans and their resources. Both the Philippines and China are signatories, agreeing to its rules, including the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, or EEZ, which grants coastal states special rights over marine resources. This agreement was meant to prevent conflict and clarify ownership in the world's busiest waters. In 2016, the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's historic claims within the 9-dash, now 10-dash line. The tribunal found that China's sweeping claims had no legal basis under UNCLOS, and that its actions had infringed on the Philippines' rights. The ruling affirmed that China had violated the Philippines' sovereign rights within its EEZ, especially in areas rich in fish and energy resources. It was a decisive moment, setting a precedent for how international law can be used to resolve maritime disputes. The new map visually translates this legal victory, illustrating the Philippines' internationally recognized rights. It serves as a powerful tool for education and diplomacy, making complex legal boundaries accessible to the public and the world. Manila positions itself as a defender of the legal order, while casting Beijing as defiant of a binding judgment. This narrative is central to the Philippines' diplomatic strategy, shaping both domestic opinion and international perception. While the Hague ruling lacks direct enforcement mechanisms, the Philippines keeps it alive in global consciousness, using every diplomatic platform to remind the world of the legal outcome and the importance of upholding international law. The map normalizes the West Philippine Sea and the Philippine EEZ as matters of common knowledge, integrating them into education, media, and daily conversation. It's a way to assert identity and sovereignty for future generations. By grounding its actions in law, the Philippines seeks to rally international support for a rules-based order at sea. This approach appeals to other nations with similar disputes, building alliances for collective security. The map is not about new claims, but about making existing legal rights visible. It's a statement of fact, not provocation, reinforcing the Philippines' position on the world stage. This legal strategy is the Philippines' strongest shield against coercion, offering a peaceful, principled path in a region marked by tension and competing interests. China swiftly condemned the new Philippine map, dismissing it as illegal and provocative. Beijing insists on its indisputable sovereignty over the South China Sea, rooted in vague historical rights that predate UNCLOS. China refused to participate in the 2016 arbitration and rejects the Hague ruling outright. Chinese state media warn that Manila's actions will be met with firm resistance, while China's Coast Guard and maritime militia maintain a constant presence. The 10-dash line remains China's basis for claiming nearly 90% of the South China Sea, overlapping with several countries' EEZs. Despite international rejection, China continues to promote its own maps and narrative, deepening the conflict with the Philippines' legal approach. The map dispute turns dangerous at sea, especially around Scarborough Shoal, an area that has become a symbol of the broader struggle for control in the South China Sea. Scarborough Shoal lies well within the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone, yet it has been under effective Chinese control since 2012, following a tense standoff that forced Philippine vessels to withdraw. In September 2025, the China Coast Guard escalated tensions by using powerful water cannons against Philippine vessels on a routine resupply mission, a move that drew international condemnation. The attack left several crew members injured and caused significant damage to the ships, highlighting the real dangers faced by those operating in these contested waters. Manila maintains that its activities are both legal and routine, asserting its sovereign rights under international law and the 2016 Hague Tribunal ruling. Meanwhile, Beijing accuses the Philippines of illegal incursions, allegations widely dismissed by international observers as political propaganda. China's recent move to designate Scarborough Shoal as a national nature reserve is seen as a form of lawfare, using legal maneuvers to strengthen its claims and justify the exclusion of others. Filipino fishermen, who have relied on these waters for generations, now find themselves blocked and harassed by Chinese vessels, unable to access their traditional fishing grounds. These confrontations are part of China's so-called gray zone tactics, persistent intimidation and pressure that stop short of open warfare, aiming to exhaust Philippine resolve and gradually shift the balance of control in the region. The recovery of Chinese underwater drones in Philippine waters further underscores the military dimension lurking beneath these civilian confrontations, raising new security concerns. The risk of escalation is ever present, as each new incident increases the potential for miscalculation or accidental conflict. With every confrontation, the stakes are raised, not just for the Philippines and China, but for the entire region and the international community. Scarborough Shoal remains a volatile flashpoint, where law, power, and national pride collide on the high seas, shaping the future of the South China Sea. The Philippines' stand has drawn strong international support, led by the United States. Washington backs the 2016 arbitral ruling and reaffirms its mutual defense treaty with Manila, deterring Chinese aggression. Joint military exercises and expanded U.S. access to Philippine bases signal a deepening alliance. Other nations, Australia, Japan, the UK, and Canada, condemn coercion and support freedom of navigation, increasing their naval presence in the region. This growing coalition isolates China diplomatically and strengthens the Philippines' position. Even other claimants like Vietnam and Malaysia are quietly aligning with Manila, wary of China's assertiveness. The dispute is shifting from bilateral tensions to a multilateral defense of international law. The Philippines' principled stand is reshaping the regional balance. The battle for the South China Sea extends into the digital realm. In April 2025, Google Maps began labeling the Philippine EEZ as the West Philippine Sea, a symbolic win for Manila. This digital change helps normalize the Philippine narrative globally, challenging the default South China Sea label that favors Beijing. Maps shape perceptions. Google's update lends legitimacy to the Philippines' legal position. Meanwhile, Chinese platforms reinforce Beijing's claims, creating a divided digital reality. The terminology matters. West Philippine Sea frames the issue as defending sovereign rights, not contesting the entire sea. The adoption of this term on global platforms is a crucial step in winning international hearts and minds. In the information age, map labels are powerful tools in the struggle for legitimacy. The South China Sea is a vital artery for global trade, with trillions in goods passing through its lanes. It holds vast oil, gas, and fisheries resources, critical for the Philippines' economic future. China's actions threaten Filipino access to these resources, blocking fishermen and stalling energy projects. The dispute is about more than lines on a map. It's about food security, energy independence, and national prosperity. The Philippines' legal strategy is a fight for the right to benefit from its own resources. China's blockade is a direct economic blow, undermining the Philippines' development. The stakes are high for Manila and for any nation that values a stable, rules-based system for resource management. The West Philippine Sea is central to the Philippines' future. Tensions remain high, with the new map drawing a clear line but not resolving the conflict. China's gray zone tactics and the Philippines' legal resistance create a precarious balance with constant risk of escalation. A single miscalculation at sea could trigger a crisis with global repercussions. This dispute is a test case for the international order, rules-based law versus power-based claims. The outcome will shape how disputes are resolved worldwide. The principles at stake, freedom of navigation, peaceful resolution, and respect for law, are the foundation of global stability. The Philippines' stand is a stand for every nation that believes in a world governed by rules, not force.